Okay, so we're going to cover the Poliquin Step-Up, which is a type of step-up to go after the VMO. The VMO is one of your big knee stabilizers. It basically sits from here to here, and it's usually found as weak for most people. So what we're going to do is keep things extremely strict. There's not a lot of extra body movement on this one, and the weights that you'll use are usually going to be pretty light. You'll want to set something up so it's going to be roughly mid-shin height. You can go a little bit lower if you're on the weaker side, but in general, mid-shin is probably going to be appropriate. You'll want to get your heel elevated. So you can do a moderate elevation, or you can actually go pretty high, which basically, if you get the heel spiked up a little bit harder, it just makes it a little bit tougher. So without having to actually raise the height of the platform, you can spike the heel up. It does force you to drive through the ball of the foot a little bit more aggressively. So the only thing I would suggest is that if you've got any sort of knee issues, chronic joint or tendon pain, I would probably avoid getting super high with the heel. But it's more of a progression. So we got the heel up. And then what I want to do is I want to take this leg completely out of it. So I want to do a couple of things. I want to first lock my kneecap so that when I'm pressing, I have to press only off of this leg. The other thing I want to do is actually pull my foot off the floor so the toes are elevated. So it makes it so that I can't drive off and kick through my knee and my quad. And then now I can't drive through my calf because I can't extend my ankle. And then the other thing that I want to do is actually take this leg and I'm going to slide it so that this heel is in line with the toes here. And what that's going to allow me to do is get a little bit more flexion at the knee. If I'm back here, okay, I don't have as dramatic of a bend, so I'm going to get a little bit less range of motion. So from the very start, when I put the heel here, and then I bring my torso up so that my hips are underneath my shoulders, you can feel the VMO already loaded up. So you'll have tension on there, and when you press, you're pressing basically through the big toe. So I keep my chest up high. If I'm holding dumbbells, they're typically just going to be at your side, although again, you're probably not going to need a tremendous amount of weight. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to try to keep my knee lying directly over top of my toe. So the tendency with this one to make it easier, because you get a lot of tension on the quad, is when you set up and you get this tremendous amount of tension here, you'll let the leg open up. Okay, and that's going to take tension away from the VMO. It's going to make it a little bit easier. You'll feel it more in your butt. So if you drive the knee so that now it's dead in line with my big toe, it's going to increase the tension. It's just like if you do a leg extension, you squeeze your knees together. It's going to give you a better contraction. It's basically what you're doing. And then from here, I just drive through my big toe. I come up, contract. Again, at the top, I want to not let my knee rotate. So I don't want to rotate basically at the femur. I want to keep everything in line. Hips are nice and square. I come down, I let the heel make contact, and then I'm going to press again off of this. A lot of people, balance will be a little bit of a factor. So you can set a tempo, but you don't necessarily need to obsess about it because it's usually a big enough issue just to get the balance side of it. So that's the Poliquin Step-Up. Again, you can go higher heel elevation, which just makes you drive off the toe a little bit more, and it's going to make it a little bit tougher. It's also going to incorporate a little bit of extra calf work because you're placing the calf under flexion. But that is basically the Poliquin Step-Up.